Hello everybody, my name is CyberAqua and welcome back to Fallen Hero Rebirth. It's been a while, again. I take breaks in between from playing Fallen Hero Rebirth. Sometimes I forget it, that's my bad. But yeah, there are some people that are asking me that if I do these often, if I remember correctly, I don't know who it was, someone. My reply wasn't straightforward for that, so sorry about that. But yeah, I did reply back saying I do this every 2 or 3 times a week. No, every 2 to 3 weeks. Not 3 times. What is wrong with me? Every 2 to 3 weeks. So that's something kind of just came out. But I think I might as well plan on doing it. Since I'm getting used to doing one video a week, then I'm transitioning into 2 videos per week. Slowly, but not that sure. But once I get used to it, then it'll take me a while to get more efficient into it than do three videos per week and da da da. You know those things. Anyway, let's get back into it. Only thing I remember was doing something about saving a guy and then going somewhere as boy. Yeah, as my puppet, something like that. But let's get back into it from our whatever fight scene or plan was it. Picking your way through the rubble, you aim for one of the ruined walls. The hole leads straight to the outside. The darkness, a welcome change to the caustic glare of the battle. Was that caustic? I don't know. You hope the special directive has no interest in rounding up the escaping henchmen. They have always been sent after the big fish. If they really had any interest in the wolf pack, they would have brought the LDPD along to round up any stranglers. Escaping should be easy enough. You pause a moment, giving your eyes a chance to adapt to the darkness outside. The lights have gone out in the entire area, but whether it's because of the battle raging behind you, or because of the special directive cut the power, you have no idea. It doesn't matter, as long as it provides you some cover. As you thought, the special directive cares little for anything but Psychopatho himself. In the distance, you can feel members of the wolf pack running for it. You sense the panicked little thoughts of people stumbling blindly through the darkness, desperate to get away from a job that suddenly turned out to be a lot more than they bargained for. Now, you really need to get out of here. In the end, you safely reach the place where you stashed your bag and civilian clothes, but then your body is aching. Your heart racing from the adrenaline. Your heart racing from adrenaline, or your heart racing from the adrenaline? I don't know. I'm used to saying the, but yeah, who knows? Was there really a time when injuries were a part of your everyday existence? Wincing as you do so. Wincing? Is that wincing? That's a new word for me. You pull on slacks and a coat over your skin suit. I can't talk properly. What is wrong with me? Deciding to leave it on. You don't think you could force yourself to strip right now. Oh, strip, come on, do it. Stashing the mask in gear in your bag. You take a deep breath before realizing that was a bad idea. You need to get back home fast. Risking a cab ride is worth it. Bereft of your mask, you are just another nobody. You mean beneath your mask? Something? I don't know. That's a new word again to me. I don't know. There's nothing odd about you at all, and the cab stops when you haul it. Hail it. I don't know. Hail it. The driver wants to gossip, but you are tired and gently nudge him to keep his mouth shut. And remember, you is an old baldy man once he drops you off. Just in case you haven't stayed free this far because you were so sloppy, you can't afford to be. Not when you are not when you have completed step 2. That night, you dream again. 7 years ago, you're walking up the stairs in your dream. You're walking up the stairs and you want to stop. You're walking up the stairs and you want to call out for Ortega. Ortega? Ortega. And tell him that something is wrong. You're walking up the stairs and you want to shout at Steel that he's moving too fast. That the dampening field is getting too thin. But he's not moving too fast. You're moving too slow. You and a thema? And a thema. Anthema. Anthema. I never got this name properly. I'm just going with I, E, O, U sound. Anthema. Anthema? I don't know. You didn't mean to. You didn't mean to lag behind. It was just the pressure building. And the thought that maybe, just maybe, it would feel better if you got some distance from Steel and the dampeners. And of course, Anthema slowed down with you because it was his job to watch your back. That was how things worked because you were a team back then. And you still can't wake up. You remember walking up the stairs and you still can't wake up. You remember hearing a sob, or maybe you are just sobbing in your sleep and you don't want to remember, but you turn around all the same. Anthema was standing on the stairs behind you, looking down at his hand. Stop. The word was so small that you remember not being sure if it was you or him who uttered it. It doesn't matter. Not then, not now. And you still can't wake up. Can I even wake up? Jesus, seems like I can't. It's a nightmare. Even though you remember Anthema raising his hand to his face. The corrosive acid secreted from his hand strong enough to make them smoke. It must have hurt. You remember the acid smell of acid smell of flesh? I don't know. I stood frozen, unable to realize what was happening until it was too late. I panicked, not knowing what to do. I didn't think. I thought Anthema was invulnerable. I panicked, not knowing what to do. I stood frozen, unable to realize. Yeah, he could be invulnerable because this is like where a psychopath or someone with a high psychic ability or high level of chaos or danger, something. I don't know. Let's go with that one. Didn't feel real. Anthema was invulnerable. Invulnerable. There was no way that his hand could really smoke that as the flesh was eaten away, and no real danger of Anthema getting hurt as he grabbed his head with both hands. You remember all the times that Anthema had laughed and made a joke as he used his power, rubbing his palms. You remember that, and you remember that you didn't really think about it. Took it for granted that it was a joke, a way of warning others to stand away from him when he did his thing. Took it for granted that the corrosive acid never really could be stronger than what you had seen. Strong enough to melt steel and concrete. Took it for granted that it was the invulnerability that was Anthema's great power, not the acid. Not the acid that could easily eat through his flesh if he just made it powerful enough. Remember looking away, thinking it looked like a false special effects, like a fake special effects. Looking on in fascination. Fake special effect. You looked away, buddy. I don't know. You realized what was happening before you came. Averting your eyes a moment before the scream started as abruptly as it was silenced. You remember the smell, and you remember the thud of the body falling to the ground. You'd like to think you didn't scream. You'd like to think you showed nothing on your face as you pushed past Ortega and Steele, continuing upstairs, leaving the ruined mess behind. The mess was someone you knew, liked even, and it doesn't matter. It never matters. Getting attached is stupid. Walking upstairs is stupid too. But you have to. He's waiting for you. Did they follow? You think so. What choice did they have? They were heroes after all. Why did you continue? Were you a hero too? Remember the pressure increasing, your shield growing denser under this onslaught. You should have left. You should have run for it. Let the military bomb this place to hell. Instead, you found the apartments calling to you, and the door. It was ajar. It was ajar? The sound of breathing was coming in there. The sound of the last thing alive in this building except you three. You pushed it open. And woke up. Finally, I woke up. Present day. Hello. Right. You lay on your bed for a moment, breathing hard, trying to remember where you are. Trying to remember where you are, when you are. It's not 7 years ago. It is now. And the alarm is beeping because you are running late. You shut it off with a muttered curse or something, gathering the strength to move. Rolling out of bed is harder than you imagined. Your muscles ache, and you're fairly certain you pulled something in your back. Oh, Jesus. Maybe you're getting old. Maybe. But you suspect that you have just let yourself go these last few years. Or maybe you are too hard on yourself. You are alive, after all. And you can just slide into your puppet and leave the pain behind for now. You have a delivery to make. Once you have made sure that your own body is taken care of as well, you can manage. You leave yourself resting and healing on the bed, and you slip into your puppet. That way your body can sleep without any more dreams catching you unaware. Besides, boy's body is a comfortable shell compared to your own. No aching muscles, no abrasions or contentions. I think just smooth muscles that move with a grace you remember from back when you were still a hero, young, fit, like a version of you remembered from a dream. No dreams. You can feel the taste of them fading away, and you make your puppet stretch and breathe deeply to make you feel at home, make you feel grounded again, real. You're not a telepath now. You're safe, physical, intact, touching your face. You keep breathing, closing your eyes. Your thoughts are dark, empty, nothing there. You're safe. Good. Shaking your head at your own silliness. You shake loose your tense muscles moving yourself to go training again as soon as you have time. That sounds like just what you need right now. Some sweat and aching muscles to ground you into the present. In the present. I think I can't talk properly, it seems. Maybe. I don't know. Though you strive to have a balanced training regiment for boy, you tend to favor boxing, aikido, jogging, boxing. If there's one thing you have learned, it's that a good offense is the best defense. Yes, that is true. Besides, these last few years, hitting things have been surprisingly therapeutic. No, I know the word. Therapeutic. Therapeutic, something like that. Even though you have no choice but to retire from your former life, you are still a bit of an adrenaline junkie, and since you don't have access to your telepathic powers in this body, you simply have to defend yourself the old-fashioned way. Punch everybody in the face. Yeah, the world of villains is not a safe one. Time to get going. Delivery's waiting. It is too early to meet up with Dr. Mortum. Dr. Mortum. Right? Dr. Mortum? At Joe's. But you don't want to delay handing over the targeting web. Okay, so you set another meeting point in a dilapidated alley near the old industrial district. The doctor sounded fair too eager to begin working on it when you called him earlier. Besides, the little cluster of telepathic rat brains is getting restless without its body, and you are sure that this had something to do with your recent nightmares. You know that dreams can't hurt you, but there are things you would rather remain forgotten. You shake your head, pushing down the memories as you approach the designated meeting point. Perhaps it's the surroundings that brought them up again. The alley has an acrid chemical smell coming from the nearby industries, and the dusty window of the abandoned storefront reflects nothing but shadows. It's a desolate place to meet up, but it's one that's easily accessible and still private enough. The stench discourages anybody lingering, most likely the reason the store was abandoned in the first place. This is not the place you want to be, hiding in a puppet body. Meeting in dirty alleys, but you are not ready yet to take your place on the scene. Not yet. Running your fingers across the window, you look deep into your puppet's eyes. Are they any different now from when he was walking around, living his own life? Would anybody who knew him back then recognize that there is another intelligence lurking inside? It doesn't really matter. He has nobody left that could care. You are quite alike that way. Maybe you were too deep in your own thoughts. Maybe you were too used to relying on your telepathy. Maybe you just got sloppy. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that as you look away from the reflections of your own eyes, the window, you catch sight of Dr. Mortum there behind you, holding a gun. It is aimed at you. With your hands in the air, you try to control the emotions, threatening to bleed through. Okay. Now, Monsieur, do you mind explaining how you managed to procure this lovely little trinket right after Psychopathus so handily got himself taken in by the special directives. The kiss of the gun is cold as it brushes the back of your head. It's not the first time this has happened. Yeah, and your first reaction is to try to talk myself out of it. Make a move for the gun, leave my puppet and try to possess. Oh no. Talk out of it. I should be used to it. Taking a moment to taking a moment to swallow, I think, because your mouth is suddenly dry. You try to decide what to tell Dr. Mortem. Do you risk telling him some variant of truth, letting him know that you knew how to get the special directives involved? Should you just tell him that it is none of his business and hope he won't get mad and decide to pull the trigger? Interesting. Maybe you should just defect. He knows you are an intermediary for your anonymous boss. So how would you know how they did things? Okay. It's a tough choice, yeah, I know, because I just completely got confused. But you have a very little time to make. I can tell the truth. I say something. I say that can't tell him. I flirt and distract. I can't do that option, damn it. Just tell him the truth, I guess. Drawing a deep breath, you decide to trust Dr. Mortem, the little piece of truth. He is your closest ally, and you are going to need his help to fulfill your plans, at least until the thing that he's building is done. Well, Monsu, I am waiting. Why did the special directives show up? The gun does not waver, and neither does Dr. Mortem's gaze. I tipped them off to where they could find him, you confess, meeting his eyes in the reflection of the window. Then I simply snuck in and stole the thing while they were busy fighting. Really? Dr. Mortem's eyebrows moved towards his hairline. That sounds medi. You're serious, aren't you? The gun is still pointing at your head, but his stance has lost some of the tension. Haven't I been so far? The question is a challenge. As are you crossed arms. You are paying him good money. How does he dare to question you anyway? Well, yes, he admits. Lowering the gun is in something akin to embarrassment, but still. He shakes his head in disbelief. I must admit that I underestimated your resourcefulness. Most people do. You wait until he has to put the gun away entirely before turning around to face him. Your stern gaze causes him to laugh a little nervously. What did you say? Shall we forget about the gun? No, what do you say? Shall we forget about the gun? Shall we knock off a few grand off the price? You counter, keeping eye contact. I think we shall not, he says, apologetically. Not unless you want to substandardized goods. I want the best. My employers wants the best. My employer wants the best, you know that. It is so easy to think my name is a separate entity sometimes. The charade, something, I don't know. The charade you run is starting to feel very real. Ah, your mysterious boss. When do I get to meet them? Dr. Mortem, I think. Yeah, Dr. Mortem gives a curious look. He has been asking questions about who working for since day one. Maybe you should be glad that you haven't. I doubt they would have been happy had you pointed the gun at them. You evade like always because honestly, you are not sure if he could be trusted to that extent. Is he a hireling or an ally? Or maybe even a future rival? Only time will tell. That is a good point. He acquiesces with a chuckle. Unaware of your thoughts, are you planning to let me live that down sometime in the future? Maybe, if you keep your schedule. You reach into your pocket, pulling out the cylinder containing the targeting whip. In this body, you can't feel anything from it other than its weight. It's a bit disconcerting. Being head blind. You doubt you ever will get used to it. Speaking of which, Dr. Mortem pauses briefly as he puts the cylinder into his pocket after quickly checking it. When can I expect the last payment? I told you. You get it when the project is complete, not before. You push your hands into your pocket, trying to add up how much you still need. Not as much as you had feared. It should be doable if everything remains on schedule. What is this, Monsieur? Don't you trust me? His arms flying out into a gesture of hurt innocence. Okay, let's just say that I trust money as a motivation. You smile a little to take the stench out of the comment. That is fair, he admits. Just make sure that you have the right amount ready to transfer once I'm done. I don't haggle. My boss is not stingy, you're sure? Really? And eyebrows raised, a faint smile playing on his lips. What was all of that about before then? That was for me. You lie because it fits the act you play. A little bit of greed to make you human and add a few layers of obfuscation, I don't know that word, between you and your boss. A bit of hazard pay, considering you being a bit trigger happy. Again, my apologies. The boy is slight, but perfectly executed. Perhaps I can offer you a dinner as compensation once our business transaction is done. I would be delighted. We will see. We will see. We will see. You say. Your smile kept carefully neutral. You don't want to either encourage him too much or blow him off so hard his emotion gets in the way of your work. Besides, you are not sure how you feel either. Getting involved too much with people can be just risky as it can be gainful. Well then, Monsieur, I bid you adieu for now. And with those words, the two of you part ways. You feel like you're probably going to smell of this place for a week. Going to smell of this place for a week. I don't know. Next chapter, please. 1 week later. A week later, you have completed step 3 and gotten Mortem's payment ready for delivery. It has been hard work and it left you with a grueling headache. But if he plans to keep the deadline, you had better be prepared. No, you had better be prepared to deliver. Yeah, it is correct. The good doctor might be curious enough about the applications of your idea to accept the job, but expertise doesn't come cheap. Luckily, you are not one of the hapless criminals who need to go out and rob a bank to procure what you need. You have other subtle methods. The world of telepathic crime is a lot less dramatic than one might think. Companies or banks handling vast amount of cash tend to have scramblers in place. Oh, excuse me. Or their own security teams to detect mental intrusions. When someone wants to rob a bank, things have not changed much over the decades. The simplest part is to physically approach with a gun and explosions, and be ready to deal with the consequences. Consequences you are less than fond of. This is why you stick to skimming. Embrills the rich. I don't know. I don't know the meaning behind those two. Let's go with the ones that says embrizzle the rich. You have these powers. It would be stupid not to use them. And thus you spend your time lurking downtown, scanning for the rich and powerful. Once you have located a suitable target, break into people's money instead of their houses, clearing out their savings as surely as if you had cracked a safe. Do you feel bad about ruining someone? Sometimes, perhaps, but spend enough time in somebody's head and you quickly learn to despise them. People don't get rich by being nice, and in Los Diablos, rules are for suckers. They're the kind of prey you prefer. The ones with far too many things to hide. Gambling, mistresses, embezzlement, drugs, murder. You slide in and out again, leaving them with self-doubt and fears, unable to admit that they have lost money without exposing the dirtier parts of their lives. It's not a perfect system, but it works well for now. For now, it works well, it seems. Sometimes you worry a little about what would happen if someone decided to investigate one of these incidents, but so far, you have been lucky. You hope to stay that way. Pretty soon, it won't matter anymore. Nothing will. For now, you just have to stay calm, cool, collected. Make sure you don't make any mistakes or take stupid risks, like with Lady Argent. Maybe you should have been more patient. Maybe you should have figured out another way to steal the nanovores entities. Nanovores entirely. But I wanted to see if I could possess her. I couldn't see any other way. No, let's make it I couldn't see any other way. The nanovores were stored inside the Rangers' headquarters, one of the most secure buildings in Los Diablos. It wasn't exactly a place where you could just walk in, and even if you possessed someone unimportant like a janitor, they would not have access to the storage vaults. The only ones who do are current members of the Rangers, which meant picking one of them to be your target. She was simple, the most logical choice, and if that was the wrong one, well, too late for regrets now. You really hope you have scrambled Lady Argent's mind enough so that she won't remember you, but it makes you nervous dealing with heroes. You used to work with these people. For crying out loud, you know how they work. You know they won't quit. They never had before. The Rangers always got their man. Still, you have to admit you looked forward to teaching them a lesson personally. Have butterflies in your stomach. Are glad that they don't have a telepath. You are glad they don't have a telepath. Yeah, because you're the only one. And you decide to be a villain. Yeah, perfect. No matter how good they are at catching criminals and stopping threats to a city, this is not a physical match. This is your arena. As far as you know, there are no other high-level telepaths. abused by the government. Okay, even among the independent heroes, it is a rare gift. You are, for better or worse, unique. That should give you the edge that you need. But still, no need to get sloppy. The best thing to do to avoid any risk of suspicion is to keep up your daily routine and change nothing about it. Pick up a paper, have lunch at a local dinner, pretend to be normal, be nobody. Even if they knew they were looking for someone, you would not match their profile, not to mention the fact that you are officially dead. Hard to find a better disguise than that. It is a risk you're running, being back here in Los Diablos. Maybe you should have crossed the border in Mexico and tried to lose yourself there, or moved up the coast to San Francisco or Cialati, but that would mean running away, and I am through with that. This is the town where I can find everything I need. This is the only home I know. This is the town where I can find everything I need. Yeah. What's the time? Oh, okay. That's 37 minutes. Technically, I'm trying to make this an hour, half an hour. I can't really go with 40 minutes. This will be 40 minutes, but hey, I'm trying to stick to 30 to 40. That's what I'm trying to say. Anyway, I'm gonna stop my episode over here. Getting kind of good at reading as well, but some sentences are hard, like always. But hopefully it kind of sounds better now, since I'm trying to improve reading in real and talking English in real life and stuff, you know. And yeah, hope you guys enjoying this episode as well. Anything different happen, let me know in the comments below. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed until, I don't know, like 60 episodes in. I'm pretty sure it might be that long, because the story is like, I don't know, I was in the next chapter. I don't even remember the chapter. Whatever the chapter is. So hope you guys are enjoying it. And yeah, thank you so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.